Hi, everyone, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about books, tea, and drama. And I know I haven't talked anything about tea, but whatever. Um, Today in the books, we're going to be discussing structure and storyline structure. Basically, we're still in plotting. So, why is structure important? Why you need to understand how the structure works. So basically, any movie or book that you read, all your fairy tales that you listen to growing up, you're going to notice a certain pattern. It has a beginning, it has a middle, and it has an end. It has a part, the middle part is where the climax happens. And then from there, it tapers off until you have a happy ending or a sad ending or whatever the conclusion may be. It's the end of the book or movie, right? Sometimes that a change is you still have the ending, but maybe the ending is left open because there's a part two. And sometimes the opening will be harsh. Sometimes the ending will be like a sharp cutoff, or sometimes it will be like a nice closed kind of like there's different ends. So it has like a closed ending where there's no part two. It has an open ending where there's a possibility for there to be a part two. Doesn't have to. It's but it's possible. There's it almost leaves the reader or the viewer with a hint that there could be more to the story, right? Same thing with books, movies, same thing. All storytelling. So when you create your book, it's gonna fall under pretty much this structure. You could try to fight it. you could, you can try, but it's pretty much that's how it's gonna go. What sets your book apart from the other books is the way that you play with the structure. So if you how you start your book and how you end your book, how you start your chapter and how you end your chapter, and the things that happen along the way, the twists, the turns inside of the plot is what sets your story apart from somebody else's story. So like I had said before, we can all sit down and write the story of Cinderella, and all our versions are going to be different because we have different perspectives, our fingerprints are different, and it's just going to be something that's unique to us, right? So with structure, I'm going to look at two different formats of structure that I work with. And I'm going to use my two books, Endurance and Forbidden, as examples. So Endurance has, it has a beginning. It starts out with I would say like it. Well, no, okay. It starts out with a boom or bang where one of the characters are about to get hit by a car, right? So that's how it starts. High energy. And it ends, of course, with the happy ending. Um each chapter, I look at each chapter as like a book, like a mini book. So you have the beginning, the climax, and the middle. But I don't always do the climax in the chapter. It may be a little mini climax, it may be something, but the one rule that I have is always end your chapter on a cliffhanger, except for the last chapter, because that's your conclusion. You want to start closing. You want to, by the last chapter, you want to be putting that nice little ribbon on it. So you don't want to have it. I've done that. I'm very guilty of it. I've done it. For example, my third book that I'm revamping right now, Spirit, I can't actually change it because Spirit was so big and thick. I had to split it in half because the pages were falling out. So I split the book in half. And this is back in my early years of formatting and learning how to format and stuff. I personally, now that I look back on it, I think I just wasn't formatting the book correctly. But even if I format it the way that I have it now, I think that the book would still be a little too thick. And you know, it depends on what kind of binding you use and all that stuff for the printing. But since I split it, and you really can't go back on that now, it's two. There's part one, there's part two, and it's fine. But it does have a sharp uh, or kind of a harsh ending on the first part of part one because of where I had to split the book. That's where I had to split the book, which is actually it's the middle, right? So it was the climax of the story. So that's why it's like that. Um, with Forbidden, what the strategy that I use, it's of course follows the same arc, but and of course I kept my same rule, ending each chapter with a cliffhanger. The ending I used was an open ending because I want it to be a part of a series, but I want each book in the series to stand alone. So they can read the third book in the series or the first book in the series. It's not going to matter. They can jump around if they want to. So, but it's all going to have the same two main characters in each book, which is, to make it the series. Um, these are it's not really much to it with structure, but what really will make your book stand apart in your structure, make your structure very interesting, is how you frame the chapters, how you structure, how you do your plot, how interesting your plot is, the twists and turns in your plot, the unexpectedness in your plots. Try not to make it too predictable, like try to think outside the box. I love thinking outside the box. I think I live outside the box. And I think I do that because it's just that's how life is. Life is unpredictable. You don't always know what's going to happen next. And then sometimes you can predict what's going to happen next because of the series of events. But have fun with it. And that's what's going to make it more engaging for the readers. When you have really well developed characters, that also makes it very, very interesting. Um, I did talk about character development. Again, I'm telling you, character development is very, very important. Um, I did a whole series on the character development part, and just take your time to really develop your characters. Most of my characters I can give a good background story on. You know, they have a story, even if the story hasn't been written down yet. For example, I have a character named Jenna, and which is Max's mother. For anyone who's read The Endurance, The Power Within, his mother, she has a very her. I actually did write her book. I wrote a little bit of her book when I was in middle school, but I never ever finished it. And it's like I just wrote out the beginning part and never went far deep into it. Excuse me, I was tired. I never went far deep into it, but she her story still lives on in my mind. Like I know that one day, like I could sit down today and write her story. It's easy because her character is so real to me. It's very three-dimensional. So get your characters like that. Develop your characters to that point, and it's going to make writing so much easier because the creativity is just going to be flowing. You're just going to flow with the creativity. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that it was beneficial. And I look forward to any feedback. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm going to put some links in the description for anybody who might be interested. And if you want to check out my work or my website or what have you. And, you know, if you have any questions, just let me know. You can comment below, and I do my best to answer any questions or give any feedback that may be needed. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy your writing. It's really nice out today, where I am at least. And we're actually going to have an inspiration break. You know what? That's something that I need to bring up, and I don't know if I should bring it up here. But I guess I'll do another video about how to keep yourself motivated while writing. Sometimes you hit that wall. So how to deal with writer's block, how to deal with hitting a wall, and what does it mean? I will have to do a separate video on that because it's a whole different topic. But I hope you enjoy, and I will talk to you soon.